Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the interweb. I want to start this out by saying I was wrong. I was dead wrong. In 2018, I stated that Dragon Ball Fighterz was a good game, and that it would last forever, and that the DLC would be superb. Then the player number began to drop, and I said they lied, and I personally found stuff, to back up that there were still a lot of people playing it. And now, here we are. There's been DLC and the last one, and 6 months to let it sit in since the last DLC came out. And all I can say is I was wrong. The game turned out incredibly bad. I would go as far as saying this is hands down one of the worst fighting games to ever release. The devs abandoned the game almost immediately after the game came out. There was no fun events, and the poor online servers were barren by the time I finished the main campaign, which took about a week, and that's with me doing like university classes. I'm sure the average person who beat that game within 3 or 4 days, I'm pretty sure, it was way quicker than it actually was for me before the servers became dead. And that's saying a lot because I got this game day one, and to say that the servers and pretty much this entire game was dead within 2 weeks, that's kind of sad. This game, after a half a year playing it, put a bad taste in my mouth, but I continued playing it in hopes that it would be fixed later, and it never did. It actually got worse. It was so bad I didn't get Jump Force or Dragon Ball Z Kakarot day one, out of fear that they were going to be just as bad. And ultimately, I did get them, but Jump Force still sucks. There's way too many Naruto and My Hero Academia characters in that game to be any good, but Dragon Ball Z Kakarot turned out awesome. I think Fighterz failed, or at least in a fan's eye failed, since it did sell great and review good initially, because it tried too hard to be Mortal Kombat, and ultimately that led to the game feeling like a clone instead of a hardcore Dragon Ball experience. I think this game had the right idea, but it just wasn't executed right, and the way it was done with the campaign being so lackluster and confusing to navigate, it just fell apart at the seams. I would say Fighterz at its core is a good fighting game, with flaws to rival the praise, but a bad Dragon Ball game with no substance for people like me, who's been with Dragon Ball for at least 20 years. I grew up with these characters, and I've watched the entire series all the way through, and I'm currently doing it again. I just felt like this game was a cash grab, especially coming off of Xenoverse and the magnificent mobile games that was out at the time. Fighterz just wasn't the quality we wanted from a Dragon Ball game. I think if it had been an open world Dragon Ball game with an emphasis on story, kind of like Kakarot, instead of competitive play, then it would have been a lot better. I just feel like, as a fan, I wanted it to be so good and last for so long that at the time, I was willing to defend it, even if I knew it wasn't what it could have been. And for that, I apologize. I really shouldn't have tried to blindly support that game when I knew it wasn't what I was saying it was. I tend to make my news videos very opinionated, but I think moving forward, I'm going to stop that. Because as I was watching old videos today and saw my videos on Dragon Ball Fighterz, which is what prompted me to make this video, I feel ashamed for how much I wanted this game to succeed, and ultimately I fought a battle that couldn't be won. I ran the world's smallest crusade in trying to get people to think that Dragon Ball Fighterz was a good game. Even if the esports scene is strong, the player base isn't strong, and the replayability is not there as well, so the game ultimately falls flat of any chance of becoming a legendary Dragon Ball game like Budokai or any of the PS2 games were. Which is unfortunate because Fighterz is enjoyable. It just was doomed from the start, but Bandai recovered the fumble with Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, and I enjoy that very much, and I'm excited and hopeful that the next competitive Dragon Ball game would have learned from Fighterz and end up really good and get the polish that it needs. I think with the PlayStation 5, devs will want to push their games as much as they can, and this gives me excitement that the next Dragon Ball game that is going to be competitive will be one of the games for legends. I think with the PlayStation 5 coming out at the end of the year, that devs are going to want to push their games beyond anything they've pushed them in the past. And with that, I feel like the next competitive Dragon Ball game that isn't supposed to be story focused or anything is going to have things done so much better. It's going to play at 4K 120 like the PlayStation 5's target goal is, and it's going to do all these great things that we wanted from Fighterz. It's probably going to have the support now that Fortnite's blown up, which I hate to use Fortnite as an example, but now that it's blown up, I feel like the Bandai Namco is going to see that, and with a competitive Dragon Ball game in the future, they're going to have limited time modes. They're going to have fun, goofy things to do. There will be emotes, there will be a lot of skins to buy. I think the next competitive Dragon Ball game is going to be everything we want for a long-lasting Dragon Ball game. Look at Street Fighter 2. Street Fighter 2 is beyond any form of comparability because of how good it is. There's just so much to do. There's even been small parts of Street Fighter now today that still adds that, but also has DLC for cosmetics and whatnot. And same with many other fighting games. Look at the new Mortal Kombat, the new DLC that comes out in a couple days as of the time of this recording. If that's going to be crazy, it looks so good. I can't wait to start it. And I feel like in the future with the next competitive Dragon Ball game, especially with how esports has really blown up since 2018, I think we're in for a very good game, and I think it's going to be one for the books. I think it's going to be one that everybody should be getting day one. But if it's not, then I'm not going to sit here and find ways to make it seem like something it's not. I don't think I'm going to blindly protect it as much as I did Dragon Ball Fighterz. I was watching through those videos. I spent 3 hours worth of YouTube video time, at least in total with every video together, a lot longer if you include editing, playing the game, etc., trying to defend that game and make it something it's not. And I am kind of, like I said, it's a shame that I did that. I wish I had been with everybody else. Who knows? Maybe, just maybe, since I was kind of the only person for a little while that was talking about Dragon Ball Fighterz, maybe I could have done something or said something that could have turned the game around to be something completely different. That probably isn't the case, but if it was, then maybe, just maybe, I shouldn't have been trying to save it as much as I did. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen of the interweb, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Try not to die, and I'll see you in the next video.